It's essential for people to take a self-defense class, or at least I'd highly recommend it. I would personally take one, but I don't have time in my schedule, but I certainly would take one if I did have the time, and I would recommend other people to do so.
I think it's very important to take a self-defense class because it keeps you keep yourself active and you know how to protect yourself at all times, which is very important so you don't get taken advantage of by other people. And
take a self-defense class, but I think if people can, they should, because like I said, it teaches you discipline and it teaches you how to defend yourself.
Yeah, I think wrestling is definitely an aggressive sport. It's two people trying to impose their will on each other. They're trying to take each other down with technique that they're taught in the wrestling room, and they're basically both trying to battle against each other and again impose their will, trying to take each other down.
Wrestling is an aggressive sport because it's a combative sport where two opponents go after each other in an aggressive manner to try to take one down to the mat, while the other's trying to stop that from happening. And the object is to pin a guy to his back. So yes, it is an aggressive sport.
Wrestling to have fun and beat other people. That's why I joined wrestling.
I joined wrestling because my brother told me it was fun, so I joined.
Wrestling, we do teach a lot of defensive things, and no, the answer is I do not think it's okay to use outside of the wrestling room, with one exception. Only to defend themselves. If others start bullying them or try to attack them or fight them for some reason, then of course I think they should use what they learned in the wrestling room.
We teach our kids not to go outside and just use it as a bullying tactic. When is it okay to use wrestling as I think it's okay to use anything as self-defense. I feel that if someone is threatening you and taking you, trying to take you down, I think if you have the technique and knowledge to defend yourself, I think that's when wrestling is okay to be used.
My son in wrestling because I wanted him to have self-esteem and be able to protect himself and have self-confidence.
Jiu-Jitsu started from Japan when the samurais developed it as a way to fight when they didn't have their swords anymore. Eventually it migrated to Brazil, where it transformed a lot and became the modern fighting style and sport that we have today. It basically deals with closing the distance with an opponent so they can't strike you, taking them to the ground, either putting them in a chokehold or a submission to make them give up. Once you do that, then you win. So we can disarm somebody, take them down without ever actually beating them up or hurting them to death.
No, you don't. Oh, that's not a jiu-jitsu though, right? Is he here?
Yeah, she's holding the dog, right?
Oh, bully me.
But how my love for jiu-jitsu reflect on my students is because I believe that the power that jiu-jitsu have over the person and help them and become a better person. The power that the jiu-jitsu has over us practitioners and the family is when I see one of my students with some kind of difficulties on their own life and all the experience that they have on the mat, it's gonna help them overcome that kind of difficulty. So it's about the passion that we have to see a person grow and become a better son, a better daughter, a better friend. So that's how my love for jiu-jitsu reflects them. You know, it's a sport that builds character, makes people good people, make people with compassion, because we help each other here. So we take this experience outside of the mat in our everyday life. So that's how it reflects on me and reflect on my students.
Self-defense definitely does help go against bullying, because I don't think that kids that learn like martial arts usually use it like to hurt other people. I think it's more kids learning it to help defend themselves when they're being picked on.
I personally believe this self-defense classes actually would help a bullying situation. It's never a bad idea to know how to defend yourself, and if you're going to get hurt and if it did escalate the problem, I'd rather myself be able to defend myself rather than
I personally do think that self-defense classes help with bullying, but not in the way that you would expect it to. Self-defense isn't supposed to be something you use to be violent in return. You're supposed to use it just to defend yourself, and bullying can sometimes come out of violence in general. So self-defense would work as long as you use your skills only to defend yourself rather than put someone else down. And sports, I don't think there's a way to just cancel sports, whether or not it does promote violence. It's essential to a child or even an adult, and the way that they use it is their own problem. You can't really change people's minds, so neither contributes nor deducts from bullying.
Learning a self-defense class or taking a self-defense class, I don't think that really contributes to bullying. It's more of the person, and it's all about how people are raised, I believe, by parents and stuff. It's all about people's morals, and if someone has bad morals, obviously they might bully someone. They don't really know how to treat people. So it's all about the individual and how they decide to act upon others.
Sports and self-defense classes create bullies because sports are kind of like a way that people like have fun and enjoy themselves and also like relieve stress. And bullies are just people who not only use like their bodies, they also use like their words. So I don't think that sports and other classes like that actually create bullies. I think it's just like for entertainment and for your own purpose for yourself. I think that bullies are just mean people.
Self-defense classes actually prevent bullying because they teach you discipline while also teaching you how to defend yourself. The point of the class is to teach you when to defend yourself and when not to. And I think if taught well, it'll actually help prevent bullying.
Wrestling is an awesome sport. I mean, I know I'm biased, but I played sports my whole life. Football, wrestling, baseball, tennis, everything. I think wrestling is so awesome that it's given me a lot in my life. It's gotten me to where I am. I'm a teacher, and I think wrestling has been a big part of that. I come back every day knowing that I am trying to change someone else's life, just like wrestling changed my life. It's truly a passion of mine. I love the sport of wrestling. I love what it does for young men and women. I think everyone should wrestle. It's done so much for me. I know it can do a lot for everyone else.
To work through difficult times, not to give up when things are rough. So Jiu-Jitsu for me has built a lot of mental toughness, and I want to pass that on to the kids, so they can carry it out into the world and become productive citizens. They're going to need it in high school and college, job interviews, work. When you have a bad day, it's pushing yourself through the rough times. And more than any sports stuff, that's what I really hope the kids get from this, and I want to pass on to them.